Well, hello, MGTOW. Welcome back. Welcome to my truck. Welcome aboard. Today, I have a couple things I want to talk about. But the number one thing I want to talk about today is this idea that you can become a MGTOW pimp. Now, this idea has been floating in the manosphere for a while. And it takes root in the mind of guys who don't really understand what's going on from a historical perspective. They don't really know what came before MGTOW and how MGTOW came to be. So, before MGTOW, the men comprising the manosphere. I mean, there were several groups, right? And chances are you've heard the names of these groups. You had the men's rights activists, but you also had the pickup artists that were already in existence, right? Now, pickup artistry was only in fashion for, I want to say, a decade or so, maybe less, right? And before the pickup artists came to be what we know today, there were people in the manosphere who were in the business of seducing women. Some were doing it for profit. Some were doing it for money, for money and money or profit, right? Financial gain, rather. And some were doing it for, believe it or not, political reasons. Others were doing it because they had the skill set, and they felt as though that was their way of becoming free, of being free. And it wasn't so much about the women. It wasn't so much about the women as it was about the freedom. The ability to sidestep the process of dating in order to, to get what you needed, right? From the opposite sex, while at the same time escaping the entire courting process, right? That society told you had to go through in order to get laid with women. So there were a few guys out here doing that, right? But they weren't famous. They were not famous. They were not well known. And all that changed with the publishing of a book by Neil Strauss, and I want to say back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Neil Strauss published a book titled The Game, and the subtitle of the book was Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists. Now, Neil was a writer for the New York Times, and he was an investigative reporter, I believe, or an investigative journalist, and he delved into the inner structure of that subculture that was in existence, right? The small community of seducers, right? That that was not known to the general public. So he ended up, after doing research on these guys and actually becoming one of these guys, right? He ended up publishing this book, But what changed as a result of Neil publishing the game was that, and this was a dramatic change in what had taken place in the pickup artist community. What changed was that when Neil published the game, he did so in a way in which he portrayed the pickup artist as a seducer of women, of course, but or the pickup artist as a group of men that were seducing women, but they were doing it in a gynocentric way. You see, whereas the original pickup artist, and this is why I don't respect guys like Bulldog Mindset, and there's a whole bunch of guys out here now in the manosphere who claim to be pickup artists, but they were never really pickup artists because they don't know the history of the seduction movement, and that was a movement, right? Small, right? But they don't know the beginnings of it. To these new pickup artists, right? So-called pickup artists, seduction is about being gynocentric, right? It's about pumping weights, being better, improving yourself, but for women, right? As opposed to for self improvement, just for yourself, right? And so forth and so on. I mean, you just have to listen to these guys for 5 minutes, and you'll see that their whole focus is on women, right? And they jump through all kinds of hoops for women. But the original pickup artists weren't like that. They were not like that. The idea behind, or the idea brought forth by the early pickup artists, and I'm not gonna name them because if you can, if you're curious enough, you'll be able to find them. Was that you could do away with it all. You could do away with the dating process. You could do away with marriage. You could do away with cohabitation. You could do away with. I mean, kids wasn't so much of an issue for these guys, but in a sense, what I'm saying here is that the original pickup artists were very much like us, the MGTOW. In fact, right, when people started talking about MGTOW as it is now, right, and became this philosophy, right, and they put together a philosophy. There were some men in the pickup artist community that said, well, you know what, this is what we've been doing all along. We've been dating women, right? But we've been sidestepping this process of marriage and living with them, and having kids with them, right? So what is it that you're talking about, right? You're talking about this MGTOW. What are you talking about? This is what we've been doing all along, right? And so there were some guys, and one of these guys comes to mind right now. He's been in the manosphere he's probably one of the very first among this group of MGTOWs, right? That came from professions, or occupations where they dealt with women on a daily basis. These guys were professionals, having to do with women in one field or another, and so they said, well, you're talking celibacy, right? But you're talking walking away from women. You're talking walking away from women. And this is what the PUAs said. But we've been doing that all along. We've been doing that, since day one, right? So, you know, given that definition, I'm a MGTOW too, right? I'm a PUA, or I'm a, you know, what I'm trying to say here is that there was some confusion, right? Um, and that confusion has carried over to today. And the confusion has to do with, well, if I'm avoiding marriage, right? If I'm out here dealing with women and I am avoiding marriage and I'm also avoiding living with them, right? Cohabitation. And I'm also not in, you know, not in the plans of having kids anytime soon. But I'm having sex with these women, right? What makes me different from, right? And I'm a pickup artist. What makes me different from, you know, a guy that's a MGTOW and he calls himself a pump and dumper, right? So we have this crucial question, right? We have this, and it's critical, because there is a difference between the pickup artist, even the pickup artist of yesteryear, right? The pickup artist of yore, and the MGTOW, right? There's a difference, and the difference is in the mindset. The difference is that the MGTOW man who chooses to pump and dump, quote unquote, pump and dump, is approaching the issue of women from a totally different perspective, right? A totally different mindset, as I just said. And the mindset is this, right? The mindset that comes along after having taken that metaphorical red pill, right? Now, what do I mean by the red pill? I have another video here where I talk about the red pill, right? And how, you know, how when guys first discover this philosophy, right? Or how the red pill came to be. But when guys first discover this philosophy, how it can change their whole approach to women, right? And so it's about, I think a lot of it has to do with experience, right? The pickup artist experience is very different from the experience of someone who's perhaps been married, or someone who, just like a pickup artist, has dealt with many women, but who has reached the point where, you know, he's found out for himself, right, from his experience, that perhaps dealing with women it's been a futile attempt to finding happiness, right? And that maybe, just maybe, there are better ways in which to spend your time. And so the red pill man approaches even especially the red pill pump and dumper. His mindset is not one of, I'm gonna go out here and pump weights and okay. The mindset of is not okay. Let's make a quick distinction here. The mindset, because I'm kind of going around a little bit here, and I don't like wasting words. The mindset of the pickup artist is one that says, I don't care about these women. It's one after the next. I'm only dating them, right, in order to not even satisfy my sexual urge. I'm dating them mostly to expand my knowledge of this activity that we call pickup artistry, right, or speed seduction, or you name it, right? You can name any of the seduction methods that are out there, right? But the pickup artist approaches women with that mindset. He approaches women saying, I don't care about these girls. I don't want to marry them. I'm not gonna live with them. I don't want to have kids with them, but I do enjoy, having sex with them. But more importantly, I want to expand my knowledge, and this is what the pickup artists, um, especially the original pickup artists, um, thought like. I want to expand my knowledge of the behavior of females, and my mapping of the female mind, right? Um, that was the that's the approach of a pickup artist in his dealings with women. Now the approach of a MGTOW man, a man who is a red-pilled pump and dumper, is or should be, right, as follows. Wow, I did not know that there was so much danger involved in dealing with women. I have the skill set to attract a woman if I want to, right? To attract women if I want to. I have the experience of dealing with them. Now it all makes sense. I still want to date women. Now this is what the pumper and dumpers think or should think like. I still want to date women, and I'm not gonna stop doing that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this philosophy with me that is now being internalized, and I'm gonna in my dealings with women, I'm gonna keep it in mind, and I'm gonna be ever more cautious. I'm still going to have sex with them, but I will not abandon these basic principles of no marriage, no cohabitation, and no kids. And that is the main difference between a pump and dumper and a pickup artist. The pickup artist ignores the dangers of today, or is unaware of how perilous the situation has become. Whereas the pump and dumper MGTOW man is a more cautious man. He may not be as skilled as the pickup artist in attracting women, and especially, or in many ways, he may be more skilled, right? Because some of these guys today in the pickup artist community have very little skill, and so that's that. Those are the main differences between the mindset of someone who calls himself a pickup artist and someone who calls himself a MGTOW pump and dumper. Some would say that this is the so-called purple pill. I'm sorry. Some will say that this is the so-called purple pill. But the purple pill is a dangerous game. It's a dangerous thing to do. In my opinion, it's a dangerous activity to carry on nowadays. And so, as always, I recommend that you abstain from your dealings with women as much as you possibly can, and do whatever it is to protect yourself financially, physically, and if you're so inclined, spiritually as well. I have more to say in regards to this subject. Anyways, it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. I hope you have learned something new. If you did enjoy watching the video, please do give it a thumbs up, so the next guy that comes across the internet may be looking for the difference between pickup artist and and a red-pilled pump and dumper would be able to find it. Thank you again for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.